I will be the person that will interview all of you. And the title for this interview is Investigating the Factors of Low English Usage Among DBIT students in KPMSI. I would like to ask all of you to introduce yourselves.
Okay, I would start. I will go ahead and start. So, my name is Muhammad Shafari Irfan bin Muhammad Yusof. I'm from DB3, DB3A.
Hello, the name is Mustaqim Mirza bin Rafzi. You can call me Mustaqim or call me anytime.
Alright, my name is Kunabila. I'm from GB3 EN2.
It's a pleasure to meet all of the interviews, all of the respondents. I will start off with the first question. If you guys are ready, are you guys ready?
Yes.
I,
Right. First question. Do you practice using the English language in your house? If yes, with who?
Yes, I frequently use English language in my house. I use it with my parents and my siblings. But most of the time, I would say it's between 70% to 30%, like 70% English and 30% Malay. But overall, I would say I would likely say I often use English in the house.
well, as for me, I only communicate with my siblings in English because they understand it better. While with my parent, I just speak in Malay.
For me, I'm not frequently speak English in my house because nobody talk in English in my house. So yeah, just keep in Malay.
The question is, what are the most common issues, common problems
Mm-hmm.
that students face while studying in English, in your opinion?
I think the most common issue that is faced by every single student is that we tend to use like have like a lot of grammatical errors in speaking in English or in writing personally. Therefore, like it would make us feel afraid to talk to others because of that, and therefore, like having fear in talking in English is, I would say, it's pretty common due to people will judge us based on our grammar, and as we can see in social media, people keep on condemning on how bad our grammar is, so it's gonna basically a turn off when we talk in English. So that is my opinion.
Oh yes, I agree with you there, Shafaro, because the students often, whenever they speak in English, they will make a mistake, and or in the typing they will do like typos, and people will mock them for it, and that will suppress the confidence to speak in English. So that will be a challenge for them.
Yeah, same way, Shafaro, Emily. I think students very afraid to talk in English because friends.
All right, moving on to the next question. Have you had a bad experience when speaking in English?
Yes, as far as I'm concerned, yes, I do have a bad experience talking English. Is whenever I have to speak out in front of a crowd, like I'm giving out a speech or basically letting everyone, like having a huge crowd of people, a huge number of people trying. I need to deliver something. It makes me a bit nervous, but nonetheless, if I would say a bad experience, not entirely bad, but I would say it has been okay instead of a bad experience.
Well, for me personally, um, I did not have any bad experience using English, as only to not making sense when I talk, because like how my brain thinks in dual languages, in Malay and English, so sometimes that can be difficult.
Yeah, for me, I have a really bad grammar, so I don't really speak in English. So all the time when I speak in English, I feel it's a bad situation.
Next question. Do you have difficulties in understanding English? If yes, why?
I would say it's between yes or no, really. It depends on who I'm talking with. If I were to talk to someone who has let's say a foreigner, like um I won't having much difficulty in talking. But if let's say if someone is really good in English and they use like really sophisticated words, I would be a bit shaky to talk because I have had really hard time to understand them. So to answer your question, yes, sometimes it's more sometimes I have difficulties in understanding in English. It depends on the people really.
Well, in my point of view, um, can't face difficulties in English as we're talking to other people, as if they use like bombastic words, then we can learn from them. Like we can ask them what does the word mean and how to use it in a sentence, and that will increase our knowledge.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult lah. Some people have their own accent, so we can catch the words.
Moving on to the fifth question. Do you think your course influences the way you speak English?
Personally, I would say no, because our course is basically focused on business and information technology. So basically, the most that we use English for is whenever we have an English subject or something that needs to be spoken in English. So therefore, I would say it's a no, because we only mainly focus on programming, IT things, and also business course. So yeah.
Well, what I think is the course can influence the students to speak in English because the medium is in English, and they encourage us to speak in English to communicate with others so we can easily adapt with the outside world.
Yeah, for me, it's Kelly.
The same. Okay, Nabila.
Next question. Um, is it true that grammar and pronunciation are the reason English considered to be hard?
Well, as I have answered earlier, yes, it is true. Like, pronunciation and grammar is the reason why English has to be hard, because there are some words that they mean the same, and there are some words that don't mean the same, even though their pronunciations are the same. And as for grammars, you really need to understand when and how to use the grammar at every sentence, or else it will be grammatically wrong and people will misunderstood by how we what we try to deliver to others. So in my opinion, I would say yes.
English are considered hard as the pronunciation for each word can sometimes be similar, like the word they, there, and there, like they're almost the same. So that can confuse people sometimes. So I rather think English are quite hard.
Yeah, I think the pronunciation is a big issue lah for me. Personally memang kalau sometimes bila nak bercakap tu memang it's difficult lah.
Next question. Do you prefer to speak using your own mother tongue language or English?
Mm, I would say I would rather speak in English, because I think that Malay and or Mandarin, Tamil, and English, that shouldn't be mixed up. So each language should be treated as equally, as if like if English needs to be in English, Malay needs to be in Malay, Chinese Mandarin needs to be in Mandarin, and Tamil needs to be in Tamil. So therefore, I would say English should be treated like with English, well, obviously, not with Malay mother tongue.
So you
Yes, of
prefer,
course. So you prefer with English.
Yes, I would prefer in English.
Mustaqim?
well, my preference would be depending on the situation of where we are currently at. If we are around people who speak normally in English, then we can just speak in English. But if there's a lot of people who speak in Malay, like my mother tongue, which will be Malay, so it is comfortable and easier for them to understand. Therefore, I prefer to speak in my mother tongue language.
Yeah, for me, my mother tongue is Malay, so I prefer the Malay. Yeah, the Malay one is the best.
Next question. Would you be afraid that you might be mocked by your friends if you speak in English?
Yes, for sure. But personally, I don't really care about what people say about my English. So I would generally be like, just speak it out loud. It's okay for you to make mistakes, really, because we learn from our mistakes. So therefore, there's no harm for me to actually try and speak it out loud. So mocking basically is very something that I normalize in my something that I normalize every day, every single day of my life.
Yeah, and can I add to that that mocking is just childish ways of people to like treat you. So it's not a bad thing. But if your friends do that when you speak in English, then just mock them back.
Yeah, setuju.
All in all of you are not afraid if your friends mock you when you speak in English.
Nah.
No,
No.
Moving on. Do you think parents play an important role as they should expose you to English?
Yes, it is. Parents plays a really huge role in like for us to communicate in English. Like if it wasn't because of our parents at the first place, um we wouldn't be able to speak in English because the story is behind of how I managed to speak in English is because my parents exposed me to English channels such as like Playhouse Disney Channel, Cartoon Network. Everything is in English, so they won't allow me to change the dub into Malay. So therefore, I think that is why I I think parents plays a huge role, and usually my parents would oftenly speak in English with me so that I wouldn't be 100% talking in Malay. Like I wouldn't know what English is. So
Well, if you are brought up, growing up with your parent, then they will influence you in the way they talk, in the way they walk. So they will play a big factor in the communication skills when you're growing up. So if they tend to speak in English or mother tongue, then that you will pick it up like naturally, and so it will be easier for you to learn English if they teach you English while growing up.
yeah, I agree with Mus, but we all use bahasa pasar, so it's very difficult lah kalau no, it's not the same what we have done.
Next question. Would your confidence disappear whenever you try to speak in English?
depends really. If I would say if I would on be honest with you, uh, confidence is something that we all have. It's either we try to embrace it or we don't embrace it really. So whenever I lose my confidence in talking in English is basically when I am surrounded by people that can really speak well, and I would I would I won't be able to speak as if like I know nothing about English. So my but you generally I think confidence has never been an issue for me to talk in English. To talk in English. So
Well, if you speak in English or in any other languages, you can just be confident as your confidence coming within, not with how do you communicate and express your feelings.
Yeah, for me, I have a confident issue about myself.
In brief, some of you agree that when speaking in English, your confidence disappear, and some of you agree or disagree that your confidence does not really disappear whenever you try to speak in English.
uh,
Yeah,
True?
true.
yeah, it's true.
Yes.
Moving on to the next question. Do you consider English as important in your life? If yes, Why?
Yes. I would say English is very important in my daily life. It's because I yes, I am a Malay, and I oftenly speak Malay most of the times with my friends and family. It is true, but there are some occasions where I'm more comfortable talking in English with my friends and my family, because we have our certain days that we just want to talk, we just want to communicate full in English. Um, for me personally, it's just basically a habit that I have with my parents and with my parents and my friends. Um, so therefore, I would say English is quite important for me.
Well, as for me, English is important in my life as I have managed to learn the language. Plus, it's considered as a universal language because it is the most spoken language worldwide. So, with having English, give me the chances to speak with other people around the world, especially online.
For me, in that case, it's very important.
Why do you have trouble learning and speaking in English?
Um, Personally, trouble and learning is because there are varieties of words that you should know. And also some of the words are just so hard to pronounce. Like there's especially when it comes to scientific terms or any um, any other terms that has like a weird way to speak it out. So therefore, I would say it is hard really to learn English, especially when you're not exposed with your parents and among your friends. I would say it's okay rather than it's hard, I guess.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Shafarul, because English can be quite tricky. So, depends on the people, really.
Same with Shafarul and most.
All of you do have trouble learning and speaking in English.
Yes,
Yes, for me.
I would say yes.
And mainly, you guys agree that it is because of the pronunciation, the grammar, and so on.
Yes.
Moving to next question. Does English help you with your course?
I would say yes because like in terms of programming, we don't learn in Malay despite of how our lecturer tend to explain in Malay, but the book or the course itself is already in English, and there are some other subjects are learn in English as well, such as like other business subjects as our marketing, operation management, and even our database. We need to actually learn we are learning in English medium. So therefore, I would say English is really important in our course.
Well, for me, learning English in this course is okay as to learning it with other languages as long as we understand it and we can interpret the teaching of our lecturers even in Malay, and we can use that interpretation into English while we're doing our assignments or anything, really.
Yeah, for me, as long we can understand it, that's okay.
All right. Moving to the second last question. Have you ever felt pressured by your peers when you speak in English?
I would say, as far as I'm concerned, I would say no because if I have never been pressured to speak English, it's always like by my own will, really, rather than I'm forced to talk in English. Even if I'm forced to talk in English, I would try to make a better conversation with my not my English knowledge. So therefore, the pressure that you say earlier, I would say not really, to be honest.
Well, in my case, peer pressure is a thing because even though people tend to be your peers, which is your friends or mutuals, then sometimes they can pressure you when you speak in English, like putting you in tough situations, such as when you meeting beautiful girls and you tend to be speechless. So that can be pressure.
Yeah. As you can look at me, you know lah, I'm under pressure.
Last but not least, any suggestions to make your English better?
Suggestions. Um, Honestly, if they would have, my opinions with suggestion, I would say that if there is a specific program that we are required to speak and write in English, like they put more emphasis towards English. I think it would be much better for us to communicate and learn to how to write and communicate in the same time, because that we don't have what do you call, a specific subject or a specific program that require us to actually communicate in English or write in English. So we won't we so most of the times that we don't we I feel like none of people really cares if like you can talk or you can't talk in English. So yeah.
Well, in order to improve English, you can watch movies in English, watch the English movies without subtitles. Therefore, you can grab the way that the people speak and learn the words that they use. Other than that, play games like PUBG. Whenever you're communicating, you can use English to um, encourage your teammates to pick you up whenever you're knocked or something, not to curse at them. But that is a way to learn, like using the bad words.
For me, learn more lah. Practice make perfect, alright?
Overall, the interview is about to end, and I would like to thank all of you for your time and consideration to be here and to answer the questions that I have been given to you. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
And
Bye.
bye.